In the world of Monster Hunter, there are many swords, but only one of them can be called great. Welcome to another episode of Build a Better Hunter. What can best be described as raw damage on a big heavy stick, the Great Sword is Monster Hunter's hardest hitting, yet slowest attacking weapon. While just about everyone knows the importance of comboing to a true charge / fast, it's the utility techniques that make the Great Sword truly shine. Hunters can extend a strong charge / combo using a side blow, and it can even land a KO every now and then. Charged wide slashes help deal a bit more damage in times one can't combo into another move, while rising slashes can even launch fellow hunters for mounts or to just get them out of harm's way. But perhaps the best move of them all, when charging any attack or after coming out of a roll, hunters can shoulder tackle at will. This death-defying tech negates all knockback from most attacks, reduces damage taken, and can be comboed into the next level of charge slashes or even into a powerful jumping wide slash. Just be wary of follow-up attacks if you impulsively try to shoulder tackle everything.
I don't like where this is going.
As a greatsword player, you are the one who causes staggers and flinches. You are the one who breaks parts and cuts tails. And you are the one fellow hunters will count on for multi-thousand damage wake-up hits. If you want to join in the fun of swinging a comically large hunk of sharp metal around, there's lots of options to build towards. While the Great Sword primarily excels in raw damage output thanks to Fatalis gear, it can still hold its own in alternate playstyles. With that in mind, these builds will be in order of raw damage sets,
That's a lot of damage!
element-focused swords,
My head hurts.
How bad?
This bad.
and even status choppers.
Boom! I'm back, dummy!
Every set listed here features level 3 focus, which is crucial to quickly fully charge any attack. As mentioned in my last video, a certain Tempered Furious Ape in the arena and the permanent Tempered Elder Dragon quest in the Celiana Cache are great ways to get rare decorations quickly. Timestamps for each build are in the description below, as well as a link to these sets on Honey Hunter for you to adjust to your own preference. If you came to this video for raw damage only and the ability to hit well over 3,000 damage on certain wake-up scenarios, I'm starting out strong with the Black Fatalis Blade. This set has nearly everything you could ever want for both damage and survivability. Maximum attack combined with 95% affinity on tenderized and agitated weak spots gives insane critical hit damage, while Divine Blessing 5 and stun resistance lets you throw yourself at monsters over and over again. Extra purple sharpness, along with peak performance and some coalescence, helps boost attacks like leaping wide slashes and strong charge slashes to hit for over 1,000 damage. You may even get used to your true charge slashes hitting for well over 2,000 against many weak points. If the monster you're fighting can't give you any kind of blight, sub in more handicraft in place of the coalescence decorations. If a critical draw playstyle is more appealing, Frostcraft with the Black Fatalis Blade is more powerful than ever thanks to Arch-Tempered Velkhana. This set allows fully charged overhead slashes to crit every time, and often for over 1,000 damage on weak spots. You can use this set to learn positioning for punishes, as well as to head snipe Fatalis to farm for more Evil Eyes, as long as you keep an eye on your stamina. Punishing Draw combined with Slugger 3 will help give you at least a couple KOs solo. And the Airborne skill makes aerial assaults even more devastating. Overall damage output is still higher if you go through the usual true charge / cycle, so if a monster is staggered or toppled, don't just spam critical draw attacks. As it turns out, the Great Sword can guard decently well and still deal great damage. Safi's Shatter Splitter steps up to the plate for this build that features both the 4-piece Fatalis set bonus as well as Guts thanks to Seething Basilgus armor. Maximum attack boost and Agitator combined with 100% affinity on tenderized and agitated weak spots keeps slashes strong. And thanks to Guard Up, Guard 5, and Maximum Divine Blessing, most anything is blockable with little health penalty. Healing should be accomplished primarily through attacking with Recovery Up skills. And don't forget to eat for Feline Black Belt, so heavy-hitting attacks don't destroy your stamina. For the last raw focus build, and for something even more comfortable, try out Safi's Dream Splitter with every comfort skill imaginable. This set shines mostly in the Guiding Lands and multiple monster quests, thanks to roar negating earplugs. Not only is there maximum divine blessing, stun resistance, flinch free, and even a mid-air brace in the form of Jump Master, but with set bonuses from Seething Basilgus and Valhazak, you'll have guts and super recovery. The cherry on top? You may even get a sleep proc once per hunt to further chill out any hunting session. Low affinity will hamper big damage output, so bring along an affinity booster to help out. For both this and the Shatter Splitter build, feel free to use whatever Safi Greatsword you prefer. Unfortunately, for those that want to pursue Elemental Greatsword builds, they will be sad to learn that they'll always be overshadowed in pure damage output by the Black Dragon. Without getting much into the math of it all, the Greatsword prioritizes raw damage over everything else. This doesn't mean hunters can't build useful elemental sets though. In fact, elemental builds are essentially required for Alatreon, and the effects certain elements have on monsters can't be ignored, like a fire weapon's ability to effectively control Black Veil Valhazak's effluvial spores. That said, there's still multiple options for elemental sets. The most popular is using Kiar Elemental Greatswords with either full Safi armor or Fatalis armor to boost element or overall damage respectively. However, on all Kiar weapons, hunters are limited to white sharpness or less, and the materials needed to both randomly acquire them as well as fully upgrade them simply aren't worth the trouble. Thankfully, with 3-piece Safi and 2-piece Arch-Tempered Velkhana armor, there are craftable greatswords that can actually exceed the elemental damage of every Kiar variant, with viable overall damage to boot. If fire suits your fancy, the rocket-powered Wyvern Impact Silver, first obtained by the Rathalos and Paolumu Arena quest, probably has the coolest design of any greatsword in the game. It's not all looks though, as with this build you get a bit of natural purple sharpness for the beginnings of fights and for wake-up hits, 100% affinity on tenderized weak spots, and over 1100 fire attack when Coalescence activates. Thanks to the permanent Great Wetfish Fin farming quest, you can keep up that purple sharpness multiplier more often, which also greatly affects element. Use shoulder tackles to make that sliver of purple count towards as many true charge slashes as possible. For water, the guild's Royal Venus Blade obtained from the Barioth event quest 50 Shades of White also requires free element level 3 for maximum water attack. Unlike the rocket-powered greatsword's negative affinity, high base affinity on this greatsword allows for some handicraft that adds more purple sharpness. Over 1000 water attack is achieved with Coalescence, boosted further by 100% affinity on tenderized weak spots. This set pairs well with monsters like Silver Rathalos and Teostra against the wings and head respectively. Just don't forget to also use your shoulder tackles to reduce damage and get a KO or two. Moving on to Thunder, Kiran's Emperor Thundersword is the only elemental greatsword in this video that cannot achieve purple sharpness. That said, it still sports a ton of white sharpness instead of the mess of lower blue sharpness on the Kiar variant. 100% affinity on tenderized weak spots as well as over 1100 thunder attack with Coalescence means it still hits hard often and matches up properly against thunder weak monsters like Goldrathian and Kushala Daora. Although this greatsword is stylish, I wouldn't be using it for any speedruns as the overall damage output is a bit lower than other elemental options. Over 1000 damage on a good true charge slash is still quite common though. For an Ice Greatsword, Frostfang Barioth's Glacial Demon combines high raw damage with great ice attack and is also easy to craft. High base affinity combined with built-in ice attack on Arch-Tempered Velkhana's armor allows for a lot of extra handicraft and attack boost skills, making this weapon shine against Alatreon's fire form, as well as other high-tier monsters like Kol'Tharath and Raging Brachydios. With Coalescence, you'll have 1100 ice attack, and tenderized weak spots will always have 100% affinity. Mind's Eye can safely be substituted out for the airborne skill if ledge hopping is more your style. Finally, Dragon Element with the Alatreon Revolution pushes the envelope on how long a great sword can be. Strong against most Elder Dragons and other high-tier monsters, enjoy 100% affinity on tenderized and agitated weak spots. Over 1300 dragon attack with Coalescence, and all the purple sharpness you could ever ask for. With Agitator included, and full attack boost with a Mantellon, this set hits hard often. Though more attack can be gained from Resentment instead of Agitator, it leaves the build at only 90% affinity, which, if desired, could be counteracted by an affinity augment in place of the element augments. When it comes to status, great swords also wouldn't be my first choice, but when a hunter builds appropriately and eats for feline specialist, they can provide an extra layer of utility and damage potential. Savvy's Venom Splitter poisons monsters well, especially thanks to Gold Rathian's true critical status set bonus. 100% affinity on tenderized and agitated weak spots keeps the toxic status flowing, and Maximum Divine Blessing makes the set very comfortable. You don't need to rely on Coalescence with this build, and you can expect 5 or more poison procs throughout a fight solo. With the Apothecary Mantle, poison can be pushed that much further. For more true charge / wake ups, the Taroth Blaze Sleep is the best option out there. With critical status from the Ardian armor and 100% affinity on tenderized weak spots, expect at least 4 sleep procs solo. In quests, this set gives hunters the opportunity to land a power true charge / wake up, which requires the lead up slash to connect against the monster while it is still falling asleep. The fully powered wake up hit will often exceed 2000 damage, but pulling this off takes impeccable timing and positioning. In the Guiding Lands, this set is particularly useful for farming monster parts. Every time the monster is put to sleep, hunters have at least one more opportunity for a flint shot wallbang for part drops. To lock a monster down and open it up for free tail cuts and other part breaks, the Kiar Fellsword Numb paralyzes surprisingly often. With built-in critical status, this set can take advantage of 2 pieces of Fatalis armor for maximum Divine Blessing and stun resistance skills. Thanks to Sappy's armor and consistent Coalescence activation, 5 or more paralysis procs per hunt are easy to pull off, and even in multiplayer, you'll be an asset every time the monster gets frozen in place. This set also fits in Mind's Eye, which helps deal with a somewhat small amount of white sharpness. If explosions fit your definition of fun, the Kiar Fellsword Magma offers the highest blast potential in the game, along with lots of damage potential too. This set fits both maximum attack boost and agitator skills in thanks to Raging Brachydios' armor, and even a level of Coalescence for a bit more explosive potential. Blast seems to activate at a much higher rate than other statuses, as I would often get 10 or more blasts every hunt against anything weak to it. If worried about bouncing due to blue sharpness, sub out the Coalescence combo decoration with a Tenderizer combo to now have room for Mind's Eye. I will say you haven't experienced true bliss until you sync up a blast with the tail end of a true charge slash. That's all for this episode of Build a Better Hunter. If you take the time to learn positioning and patience with the greatest of swords, you'll be rewarded with powerful hits in the thousands every single time. Speaking of thousands, this channel just surpassed 1,000 subscribers a couple weeks ago. Only 12% of my video views come from subscribers, so please subscribe below to be notified of future uploads and other community posts to my channel. Monster Hunter Rise is only a couple months away, so the race is on to complete my remaining Iceborne content. Until then, I'll see you in the next one.